What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Taking the Pin. And with WrestleMania having just concluded over the past weekend, we have a brand new World Heavyweight Champion in the form of the Yeetmeister himself, Mr. Jey Uso, defeating Gunther. And Bragster has injured himself trying to yeet too hard. Isn't that just the most beautiful bit of karma you've ever seen? We're keeping that in. That ain't getting edited out. So, whilst Bragster recovers from his yeeting expedition, we shall go into what today's video is about. We've got Jey Uso as the current World Heavyweight Champion. And today we're going to try and predict the next 5 heavyweight champions. Will we get any right? Probably not. But it's all fun and games in the end. So, of course, as always, if you do enjoy this video, or if you've been here before and you enjoy previous videos, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and let's get into our predictions. So, Bragster, now that you've fully recovered from the pain of eating, shall we get into your predictions and see where you take us from here?
Yeah. I'm going to annoy some people.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, it won't be. I kind of have a middle. I had my middle pretty much set, but I was like, I don't know how we get there. And then I worked out Money in the Bank is just around the corner, and with Cena winning the title, I don't think that the Money in the Bank is going to have anything to do with that title. I think they're going to keep that well away. To which I was like, if they do that, you can't have a babyface win it. Because a babyface would try and take it off of Cena. Like, kayfabe-wise, would want to take that away. So you have to put it on a heel. Which is why Logan Paul's going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. And why Logan Paul's going to beat Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship.
As I have theorized and feared many a time.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to... I think that's what they're going to do, and that's my prediction. I think that Logan Paul will win the World Heavyweight Championship next, especially given the fact that he's just beaten AJ Styles as well. And then I was like, well, to get to where I want to go, someone's got to beat Logan Paul. And before Mania, because he ain't holding it till Mania. So because I do think they're going to hot shot it a little bit, just so it's not long reign. Because I think Cena's going to have a long reign. So I feel like they need some, similar to what they did with the World Heavyweight a little bit, just sort of like break things up. And who can beat Logan Paul reasonably quickly afterwards? That makes a lot of sense. And I think this man is going to win a world title in the next 365 days. And that's Sami Zayn or Sami Uso. I think Sami Zayn is going to beat Logan Paul. I think it makes the most sense. I think we saw on Raw Sami eyeing up that nice, lovely World Heavyweight Championship.
Shiny.
But I think they're teasing it, but I don't think he will turn on Jey. But I think that they are possibly setting him up to go straight after it the moment Jey loses it. Like, the moment Jey loses it and doesn't regain it, he's going to gun for it and be like, I'm going to get it back, like, for you, type thing. And I think Sami Zayn is going to beat Logan Paul. Now, the thing I've had in my head, and this is where the middle part I had in my head perfectly, which is Seth freaking Rollins beat Sami Zayn to win that title. I think Seth will get a title because I feel that Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins is next year's Mania match. I think they're going to do the one-on-one match. As much as we want the Rock Roman match, although at this point the Rock can bugger off. I think they're going to do Seth versus Roman, and I think the way to make it different or a little bit special is with the title on the line. And obviously with this whole faction that they're building. But I don't think Seth loses it to Roman at Mania. I think Roman loses again. I think he will eventually get his win, but I think he loses again. And instead, just like Batista, Bron Breakker wins it off of Seth Rollins. Don't know when. I'm not predicting that.
we're not going down that road.
Predicting 5 is enough.
Yeah.
I feel like Bron will take it. I think Seth will win a world title and Bron will take it off of Seth. I think that's pretty much like written in the stars. But I think it's going to happen in the world heavyweight title picture. Because again, I think Seth probably wins the title within the next year, unless this whole Roman thing again goes on for an entire year without the title and they just keep messing with each other. But I feel like he will win the title, and he ain't going to take it off of Cena. So instead, Bron Breakker is going to take it off of Seth. And then it got to the 5th one. And at this point in my booking, where like this is like 2 years down the road, because I think once Bron wins it, he'll hold it for a while. Like even with Seth, Seth, I think will hold it for a while, like almost a year, and then I think Bron will probably hold it for almost a year. So I was like, what could happen? And so I was like, well, they're gonna want to give a world title to somebody. So who could they give the world title to who wants it and needs it?
Tozawa.
No. Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
I think will beat Bron Breakker. I think by that point the crowd will be on his side. Almost 2 years down the road. Obviously he wouldn't have won a world title in front of a crowd and had those moments to celebrate even at that point. So I think, it would then be a nice crowning moment to have the crowd go wild and it be this big crowning moment. I mean, if WWE want to, they could put WrestleMania in London and really create a moment if they really wanted to. Just saying. But yeah, I think those are my next 5 world champions. Logan Paul, Sami Zayn, Seth frickin' Rollins, Bron Breakker, and Drew McIntyre.
Right. Well, that's kind of scuppered this video a little bit because I have 4 out of those 5 on my list. But I have it framed a little bit differently in my head in terms of how it's going to work. So I predict that we get to Money in the Bank, as in the actual Money in the Bank pay-per-view. We have Logan versus Jey, and Logan will win clean as a whistle and beat Jey early doors. I don't think it needs Money in the Bank to do it, but more on Money in the Bank in a little bit. We then have Logan Paul running his mouth, doing his usual shtick. He gets to SummerSlam, and who is he facing at SummerSlam? One underdog that we all love, Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is going to win the title at SummerSlam, but he's also going to lose the title at SummerSlam with a Money in the Bank cash-in from Seth freaking Rollins. And Seth is going to have a very long reign after that. We then get to Mania season. Maybe get to Mania main event time if we don't have Cena come back. And we have Seth versus Punk for the title. And then we have Punk win it off Seth. And then we get the CM Punk reign that we are probably going to have before he retires at some point. Now, at this point, I also had a bit of Evolution or Batista Triple H in my head and thought, how can we continue the Seth Braun dynamic? We have Paul Heyman, once again, get rid of the rubbish and get rid of the loser that is Seth Rollins at this point, and it's just Braun and Heyman. You then have Braun potentially retire Punk or win the belt off Punk at Mania the following year. And then you have Braun as your champion and have a very lengthy role after that. I like the idea of Seth winning Money in the Bank and basically hanging it over everyone's head. And then it being that sort of, we finally got that Sammy moment of him winning the big one. And then Seth takes it away from everybody. And he's like, no, this is my time.
I feel like if you're going to do that, you got to have Sammy win it back.
Oh no, we can do that. There's plenty of scope for Sammy to come back and do it. But I just think you can.
2 years later.
Well, yeah. It's called long build, baby.
Is it?
Yeah, we're waiting for KO to come back. We've got to have KO put Sammy on his shoulders in that glorious moment and then put him in the ramp or something again. Like they did at NXT. But yeah, you can do that with Sammy. I think there's obviously flexibility. I mean, you could always have Sammy go for the other title if you really wanted him to go back for it again. But yeah, I like the idea of that image of, oh my God, Sammy's finally won one, and then Seth just stomps the hope out of everyone's hearts and wins it, and then goes on this tyrannical reign, and then you then get bronze reign out of it at the end of it. So yeah,
it's annoyingly good.
I do have my moments.
Because having Seth end obviously Mania on top, and the Raw after Mania on top, and SummerSlam on top is very Triple H booking.
Yeah.
To have when he goes full in on somebody, to go full in and just be like, and they're on top again, and they're on top again, and they're on top again, and no one can stop them.
Yeah. It's literally that thing of the momentum is with Seth all the way, and then it's Punk's the only one that's really beaten him clean recently. And I mean, I've theorized the whole John Cena run of, we get to the end of December and it's almost the reverse of Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
And Punk's the one that takes the belt and kisses it and kisses Cena's career away and runs off with the title, and all that sort of thing. But I also think that there is plenty of life in that Seth Punk rivalry between now and the next Mania. And I think that could end up being, if Roman isn't around much, I think Punk in and out, phasing in and out with Seth, almost doing what he did with Drew, of being in and out and not necessarily having a million matches, but those interactions every now and then, just keeping it ticking over, I think would work really nicely.
No, so, I see it. I feel like I'm obviously going to say mine's more likely.
Of course you are, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like it is purely for the sense of, I think, two tyrannous champions. I don't think they'll want to do that. And I feel like Cena is holding it to the end of the year, which is kind of why I said with Seth that Seth will regain it. It will get it before Mania. But probably around the period that John Cena sort of loses it. Because I think War Games is happening. And I think it could be a season premiere win. I think it could be you do Sammy versus Seth on the season premiere that they do at the start of every year sort of thing. And Seth sort of wins it there. Because I feel like you can hide Seth for a bit from the title picture, in the sense of, he builds this faction and they have these matches, and then at SummerSlam he has the Punk match again. And then you build to War Games, and then after War Games, after he's won, he then goes after the title type thing, almost like saying, now they're out the way, time for me to do this. I think the fact that we've said very similar people sort of says that, that I mean, there's a clear plan, and we can sort of see that as fans.
Yeah.
I think it.
Which probably means that's not what that is exactly.
No, it probably means that it's
happen.
not. Yeah, and and that's the good thing, is that they're making us think one thing, and then they'll probably pull the rug under our eyes at some point. And I like that. I think that it creates a really cool moment. Obviously Sammy teased a heel turn, so that could always happen. Although I don't want to see it, because I think Sammy's so much better as a babyface. And I just can't boo Sammy. But yeah, I think there's a plan, and we can at least see the plan. If we have 5 completely different ones, I'd worry that we don't see as fans at all where anything's going, which is always a worry. But yeah, it shows that they're building a good division if we've got similar sort of people.
Yeah, 100%. So, with that being said, let us know in the comments, who are your 5 next World Heavyweight Champions to take that belt off Jey, or maybe maybe Jey goes on a 5-year reign like his good old buddy Roman. We'll have to wait and see. But let us know down in the comments what you think. And as always, if you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one where we'll discuss more wrestling, and we'll see you there.